Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
To the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. It's time for day 4 on this very special Liverpool-themed Super Week. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at the famous Liverpool football kit, the history, the style, where it came from, why it changed, and so much more. The stuff you'll learn in this episode will wow your football-mad friends and family, so make sure you have your listening ears on. Before we get into this episode, a couple of new club captains on Patreon have secured themselves a guaranteed shout out. So, a massive, huge, gigantic shout out to you, Joseph Pablet from Wolverhampton, who is a massive Wolves fan and a big fan of the podcast. Joseph is a Wolves season ticket holder and loves going to the games no matter what the result is. And that, Joseph, is exactly the attitude. It's always nice to win, but being there and being a part of a team is what makes you a true fan. Also, a big shout out to your sister Tilly, who is 2 years old and probably hasn't got a clue who I am or what I'm talking about. But I'm sure she will one day when you play this back to her. Thanks for being a club captain on Patreon, Joseph. It's much appreciated. Also, another new recruit in the club captain team is Ryan from Padstow in Cornwall. My goodness, Ryan, Padstow in Cornwall is one of my favourite places to go in the whole wide world. Rick's Fish and Chip Shop, doing crabbing on the pier, all the lovely ice cream parlours. What a place that is. Anyway, let's stop talking about Cornwall because I want ice cream now. Ryan said that he's new to the podcast and has only recently started listening. However, he said he's listened to about 50 episodes and can't wait to listen to all the others. Well, you've got about 250 more to listen to, plus about 30 or more on Patreon alone, so you are going to be busy, Ryan. Thanks very much for being a club captain so early into being a new listener of the podcast. It's much appreciated. If you want a guaranteed shout out, then please consider becoming a club captain on Patreon. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? Let's talk about that world famous red kit of Liverpool, which is recognisable all around the globe. However, Liverpool didn't actually start off in red. In fact, nowhere near it. Actually, they started off in blue and white, the same colour as their rivals Everton. Now, in case you've forgotten from previous episodes, and in case this is the first ever episode of Football for Kids you have ever listened to, we need to rewind a minute. You may or may not know that Everton were actually the occupiers of Anfield Football Stadium well before Liverpool were. Liverpool Football Club hadn't even been formed, and there was a big argument which took place between the owner of Anfield and Everton Football Club. And basically, Everton went their separate ways to go and build Goodison Park, and Liverpool Football Club was born off at the back of it. Liverpool's first ever kits were half blue and half white. However, they weren't just half blue and half white. As it's reported, they were Everton's old kits which were left behind at Anfield, and they used those kits and that style of kit for nearly 4 years. So not only were Everton in Liverpool Football Club's famous Anfield Road Stadium before they were even formed, but who would have thought that Liverpool actually wore Everton kits at the start of their journey? The man who created or formed Liverpool Football Club as we know it today was a man called John Holding. He was a very clever man and a very excellent businessman who made beer. He was a brewer and he sold his beer in football grounds and did all sorts of other things. And it was mainly him, all the way back in 1896, who decided that Liverpool needed their own identity. They needed their own colours. They needed to stand out and completely break away from the old team who once called Anfield home. So, around 129 years ago, Liverpool changed to the bright red that they are known for today. And it was 129 years ago they officially started to be known as the Reds, which is what they're called today. So, when you hear Liverpool fans singing "When the Reds Go Marching In," you know more than most why and how this happened, where others will think it's just because they've got a red kit. Now, something you need to know about not only Liverpool football kits 129 years ago, but football kits in general, is some kits at some point were made out of wool. So think of thick woolly Christmas jumpers. Now imagine having no t-shirt underneath and how itchy that must be, but also how hot that must have been for players running around for 90 minutes with a wool jersey on. They must have lost 20 kilos in sweat by the end of 90 minutes on a hot August day. At some point though, the kits at Liverpool started to be made out of cotton, but it was really thick and extremely hot cotton, which made it very challenging indeed. Now, I'm sure that you know what the Liverpool football logo or crest looks like, and that it's changed a lot over the years. But the main feature of the crest from over the years, which has remained the same, has been the famous bird. Do you know what that bird is? If you said a liverbird, I'd be very impressed with your knowledge, because that would be correct. If you're not sure what a liverbird is, or why it's been associated to Liverpool Football Club for 129 years, this is what you need to know. A liverbird is a mythical creature, which basically means it's a made-up creature, like a dragon or a unicorn. And there have been stories told about these mythical creatures called liverbirds watching over the city of Liverpool for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's a big part of the reason why the city is called what it is, Liverpool. It's a mix of the connection between the mythical bird, the liverbird, and because the city is situated next to water, it got its name 800 years ago. Liverpool. Liver for the bird, pool for the water. How about that? The liverbird was the chosen symbol for the Liverpool kit to make it connect as much as possible with the city. And that is why there is a bird on the Liverpool kit 129 years after the team was formed. So, already, not only do you know about Liverpool wearing not only Everton's colours, but their old left behind kits, you also know why and how they became the Reds, and you also know what a liverbird is, and you also know how it's connected to the city and the football club. We are flying with the stats and facts in this episode. Anyway, I was getting carried away. Let's get back to the kit, shall we? And that famous crest. Did you know that the Liverpool kit remained almost completely blank until 1950, when Liverpool reached their first ever FA Cup final? And it's reported that the 1950 FA Cup final between Liverpool and Arsenal was the first time that the Reds wore the famous liverbird on their jersey. But Liverpool fans, I regret to inform you that final ended in defeat in front of 100,000 fans at the old Wembley Stadium against Arsenal. Anyway, they started in blue and white, and then for many, many years they had a mix of red and white, and then red, white and black. And then, in 1964, a Liverpool legend, who the Reds still sing about today, called Bill Shankly, played a huge part in the kit as we know it today. He was their manager for a number of years. He was a part of the glory days, and someone who is known today as one of the greatest managers of all time. Never mind one of the greatest Liverpool managers of all time, one of the greatest managers football has ever seen. It was a European Cup game, and Liverpool, for the first time ever, came out in all red. Red tops, red shorts and red socks. And Bill Shankly, the manager, the Liverpool legend, had a reason behind it. He thought it would have an advantage in terms of making the players look more intimidating. All in red, they would look bigger, he thought, bolder, and the colour red meant danger. And even after all of these years, Liverpool still wear entirely red for their home kit. It's reported that when Bill Shankly saw one of his players in all red for the first time ever, it was a man called Ron Yeats. Shankly said to him, "Blimey, Ronnie, you look 7'1". You look terrifying." Shankly was a genius at making his players feel confident and fearless, and they won that European Cup game 3-0. Maybe the all-red kit really did play a part. These days, we are very familiar with sports companies being the producer of kits, like Nike for Barcelona, Adidas for Real Madrid, or Puma for AC Milan. The first time that a sports company ever featured on a Liverpool kit, though, wasn't until 52 years ago, when Umbro's landscape diamond was proudly on the right side of the chest of a Liverpool jersey. A couple of years later, Liverpool had their first on-shirt sponsor, which was rather randomly, for the 70s, a Japanese company called Hiachi. Over the years, Liverpool Football Club have worked with numerous sports companies and have had many different sponsors. And front of shirt sponsors these days for a club like Liverpool are worth their weight in gold. You would pay millions to be on the front of a shirt of a team like Liverpool. The club may well have started with blue and white, but that bright red, that red danger with the liverbird has become famous all over the globe. And when you see it, you just think Liverpool. I hope that you've enjoyed listening and learning about Liverpool and their football kit from over the years. And I hope that you've learned plenty. So remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly, or pitchside, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Football for Kids is proud to be supporting Soccer Aid for UNICEF 2025. Watch some of the biggest stars take to the pitch at Old Trafford on June 15th for yet another match which is set to be a classic. Tickets are available now via socceraid.org.uk/tickets.